Spring is finally upon us and we are celebrating in the music room with all things spring. We're doing spring songs, we're doing spring activities, and of course we're doing some spring centers because, you know, can we get through a video without talking about centers? Maybe if we're talking about frogs. I did have a few frog song videos. But anyway, I love spring, even though it does give me the allergies. It is just like so fun. All the, you know, the weather's getting nicer. We live in Georgia, so it's really hot in the summer, like to the point where you don't want to go outside because it's so hot that like you basically just melt. So spring is where it's at in terms of weather. I love it. I want to hang out outside all the time, and we're celebrating with that with the music room. So let's talk about some spring things, and specifically a free flower springy craft that you can use to help your kids practice reading and writing rhythms this springtime. Did I mention it was free? Because it's free. You can click the link down below to get the free download, and I'll talk about a couple of different ways that you can use this one. So this is a rhythm craft. There's kind of two ways that we're going to do it. We'll talk about how you can use it as a craft, and then we'll talk about how you can use it as a centers activity. So first of all, as a craft, go through the files and look for the different things that you are teaching with your students. I went through and added pretty much every rhythm you could possibly doing with your kids, and I put them on different pages so that, you know, you can put out just the quarter notes, just the eighth notes, so that you can have whatever it is that you need. Then have your students create a flower with their time signature and then whatever rhythms they want in their, you know, in their flower. They can even add bar lines to make it longer if you want, and double bar lines to show at the end, and make those in whatever order they want. And then they can glue them down on a piece of construction paper or on the paper that I provided that has like the little nameplate. And then they can color that in if you print out the black and white versions. So really cute craft you can put on your bulletin board. Really fun for those days where like things are just off. Maybe you could leave it for a sub. I don't think I would trust a sub with scissors and glue, but maybe you're more adventurous than I am. If you're going into the teacher's classroom, that could be a fun thing to do because it's a little bit different. And so definitely, you know, a good quiet music room activity for springtime if it is testing season. Now you can also use this as a centers activity. So if you're doing it as a centers activity, instead of printing out the black and, well, you can still print out the black and white versions, but you could also print out the colored versions and then laminate all the pieces instead of cutting them out and leaving them blank. Laminate all the pieces so they're durable, and then have the students compose different rhythms at a center or a small group. They can create a pattern with their flower, and then they can play their pattern on instruments or on body percussion. They can have their friends play it, or however they want to do that, but they can create all sorts of different rhythms that way. Super simple way to take a like normal music room center and make it just a little bit of extra fun for spring, because, you know, you add a seasonal touch to everything and it just gets a little bit more exciting. So that's how you use the flower rhythm craft or use it as a center. Let's talk about some things that you could do along with this if you wanted to incorporate this into your springtime lessons, and a couple other spring lessons you could do. All right, first of all, you can of course use some spring songs. So if you are doing this with the younger kids, I would use the chant 2 4 6 8, which if you don't know, it goes 2 4 6 8. Meet me at the garden gate. If I'm late, please don't wait. 2 4 6 8. This one has a really simple clapping game that goes along with it. The original version is just 2 4 6 8. Meet me at the garden gate. But personally, I thought that was really boring. So usually I teach the kids that one first, and then I teach them a more complicated version where we do 2 4 6 8, and then we play the rhythm, meet me at the garden gate, and then they grab their partner's hands and switch places on if I'm late, please don't wait, 2 4 6 8. And it just makes it a little bit more interesting so that it's not, you know, too boring, because even my first graders, even my kindergartners are a little bit like, yeah, we got that down. So I like to add it a little bit harder. If you're using this with the older kids, because it does include pretty much every rhythm you could possibly be doing right now, then you could use this with Closet Key. Closet Key is a great singing game for your older students. It is do re mi, and they'll love it. I have lost the closet key in my lady's garden. I have lost the closet key in my lady's garden. This this one is a really fun singing game. Basically, somebody hides a key. I usually use a ruler, but something around the room, and then somebody else has to find it, and the class helps them by singing louder when they're closer and quieter when they're farther away. So I love to use this to talk about crescendos and decrescendos, and also, you know, how you can have proper singing voices as you sing loudly without screaming, because that is a really important skill for us to learn. You could also include classical music that is spring themed. So the first one that comes to mind, of course, is Vivaldi's Spring. That is a suite that is all about the springtime. If you don't know about the 4 seasons, I would highly recommend you check it out. This is a really fun one to listen to. I think the second movement is the one that's my favorite of these. I get the spring and the winter confused sometimes though. But they're also really good if you want to do like maybe a drawing activity. You can listen and draw. You can have the kids come up with, they can make like a springtime dance where they have to, you know, show different things that happen in the spring. So we can have, you know, the flowers bloom and different things and have it go along with the piece. And there's just lots, you know, the possibilities are endless. So there's a couple of different things you can do along with this flower rhythm activity. If you're looking for more spring themed lessons, I will leave a link to a whole video down below that has tons of different ideas. It includes a movement activity for that Vivaldi piece, as well as different songs that are, you know, frogs and chickens and all the things that are very, you know, springy, and you'll love it. So I will leave that link down below, and I will also leave the link to the flower rhythm freebie, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.